One of the worst ways to ruin a bonfire is by having mosquitoes. One of the best ways to get rid of mosquitoes is by having bats. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a bat house. So that's my plan back there, and that basically gives the measurements of all the different wood pieces that I've cut out here today. I'm using 1/2-inch plywood, and you can get that at most of your Menards, Lowe's, or anything like that, and it's pretty inexpensive. So bats can eat about their body weight in insects every single night, and so that's going to be really good for you when you're having a bonfire. There'll be less insects that are flying around, and also they can eat insects that harm crops, and so it's environmentally friendly because farmers will have to use less insecticides if there's less insects that are eating their crops. So I have created the back right here, which has different slots, and this is called the chamber. So this is where the bats are going to crawl up the house, and then they're going to be able to hang off that while they're sleeping or sitting there during the day. And they also really like tight spaces, and so as I'll show you, there'll be one small crawl space for them to get in there and no other way out because they like to be close to each other. So it took me about an hour to cut the wood here, and it wasn't too hard of cutting. I used a table saw, which is under here. I just lowered the blade, and I put a piece of plywood here as a workspace. And I'm also going to be using a brad nailer, which is right here, and then it's connected to an air compressor. So I'm going to begin the assembly. First, you have to make sure that you have the proper eye protection, and then you can go from there. So now I'm just going to be putting the back side onto each of the side supports, just like that. And I'm going to put 4 nails on each side for and you want to make sure that the wood is flush before you nail. So now that you have that, I've already pre-assembled a little ledge here, which is basically to make the space tighter for the bats to get in. So I'm going to flip it up like that, and now you put on the top or the back side, and you want to make sure that it's flush with that. And then you're going to add more nails into each side. And now for this side, make sure you have your fingers back so you don't get the nails in your fingers. So now this is what your assembly looks like, and you're just going to add the roof. And basically, as you can see, there's a small space for the bats to get into down there, and then they can crawl up into the house. Now I'm going to nail in the roof. I didn't use glue today because I wanted to be faster, but you can use wood glue such as this, and you can also use Gorilla Glue, which is this, just a couple different options. Also, if you'd like, you can add a stain, or you can add some sort of water barrier for it. So this is called Butcher Block Oil, and it basically helps the wood so it doesn't crack, it doesn't rot, and it doesn't let bacteria get into it. But here is the finished product, bat house. And what I've done is I've screwed in a little hook at the top there, and so this can be mounted onto a tree. And then you can also drill a hole at the bottom there, and then that can be nailed in the tree so it can sit like this. And the bats will crawl up here, and then they'll stay there during the day and come out at night. So I showed you how to make this bat house today so you can worry less about zappers and smelly repellents, and you can worry more about roasting your marshmallows. Thank you.